Hey, it's Joe, and welcome back to Humanfluence. Life can be brutal. It can knock you down so hard that you forget what it feels like to stand. We all have moments when the muck of life, its pain, its heartbreak, its disappointments, feels like it's suffocating us. And yet, just like the lotus flower, we can rise, not despite the muck, but because of it. The lotus doesn't bloom in pristine waters. It grows in the filth, in the mud, in the sludge. It doesn't get to choose its environment, but it does make a choice every single day to grow. That's the truth about life. You don't control everything that happens to you, but you do control how you respond to it. You've heard it, life is what you make it, even when it feels like it's making you its victim. But that's just perspective. We are all given a unique hand of cards. Some of us are dealt pain early on, abuse, neglect, poverty. Others face it later in life. Loss, failure, betrayal, but pain in its rawest form is universal. And while it might feel like it's pulling you under, it's also the very thing that can push you to the surface. Pain teaches. Pain transforms. Pain gives you the chance to decide who you're going to be on the other side of it. The world doesn't owe you fairness. It doesn't owe you kindness. But you owe it to yourself to find the strength to rise anyway. To take every piece of suffering, every rejection, every moment you thought would break you, and use it as fuel. Not for vengeance, not for bitterness, but for growth. Here's the raw truth. No one is coming to save you. And that may be terrifying at first, but it's also the most liberating realization you can have, because once you understand that you are your own savior, you stop waiting, stop wallowing, you stop hoping for someone or something to rescue you from your circumstances. You start taking responsibility, not for the muck itself, because let's be real, some of it isn't your fault, but for your decision to rise out of it. Life isn't about avoiding the muck, it's about learning how to thrive in it. The people who inspire us the most are rarely the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who faced unimaginable struggles and still found a way to shine. They're the ones who didn't let their circumstances define them. They turned their pain into purpose. Their setbacks became their setup for a breakthrough. Think about it. Every scar you have, whether physical, emotional, or spiritual, is proof that you survived something that was meant to destroy you. Every scar tells a story of resilience, of defiance, of choosing to keep going when giving up felt like an easier option. And that choice, that relentless determination to keep moving forward, is what makes you unstoppable. But let's not sugarcoat it. Rising isn't easy. It's messy. It's painful. It's a process of breaking and rebuilding over and over and over again. Some days you'll feel like you're making progress. Other days you'll feel like you're sinking deeper into the muck. And that's okay. Progress isn't linear. Healing isn't linear. Neither is growth. What matters is that you keep showing up. You keep choosing to try. You keep believing that there's something better waiting for you on the other side. Because there is. But you'll never see it if you stop moving. You'll never reach it if you let the muck convince you to stay stuck. And here's something else to consider. The muck isn't just the bad stuff. It's also the doubts, the fears, the excuses you cling to. It's the stories you tell yourself about why you can't, why you shouldn't, why you'll never be enough. Those stories are just as much a part of the muck as the external circumstances. As within, so without. And until you confront them, until you rewrite them, you'll keep sinking. Remember, the lotus flower doesn't grow because of the mud. It grows because it reaches for the light. It doesn't focus on the dirt it's surrounded by. It focuses on the sun above it. And that's what we need to do. Focus on what we can control. Focus on what brings us joy, even if it's small. Focus on the people who lift you up, the passions that ignite you, the dreams that keep you moving forward. Focus on becoming the best version of yourself, not in spite of the muck, but because of it. Life is what you make it, and that's not just a cliche, it's the truth. You have the power to turn your pain into purpose, your struggles into strength, your failures into fuel. You have the power to rise, just like the lotus flower, but it starts with a choice. A choice to stop seeing yourself as a victim of your circumstances and start seeing yourself as the architect of your future. Humanfluence out.